of gold.
Yes.
Here is a man who would quite literally give you the shirt off his back. Except unless it was his Hugo Boss shirt. He made 125.
You need to check out his shoes. Way more than mine.
He mumbles about that quite a lot. The belt.
The belt?
Yeah.
If I could for a bloody belt.
I didn't see the price on the label.
I was on a roll.
He was like one of the high rollers in that way. But I always think about one surprise visit that we paid to Bob, myself and Petra, when we were flying back from Paris. We live in Paris, and we flew back unexpectedly and just dropped in on Bob. And Bob, of course, was delighted to see us, and he took us on the usual pub crawl, and we went around all the wonderful bars of Preston, where you were working at the time, with Norwich Union. But Bob has had many hats to wear in his day. But he was, at that time, he worked at Norwich Union, and he'd got a very large bonus for some work he'd done. And he'd gone out and bought a very expensive bottle of vintage port, of course. And he was keeping that vintage port for a special occasion. And of course, after we'd been to our tour of the bars, and then we'd had a nice meal, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and Sarah was getting up to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, but we decided to at least be with us for breakfast. But at 3 o'clock, Bob suddenly produced this bottle of vintage port. And he said, well, we said, no, Bob, this is for a special occasion. And Bob's answer was, what more special an occasion could there be than being with your friends? And that sums up everything. Every moment that you're with Bob is a special occasion, and he would treat it as such. I first met Bob 27 years ago in Leicester. I was also part of the Castock generation. What can I say? He was a fresh-faced geology student back then. He was rapidly moving more towards history, but he was in geology. He was also doing a lot of work in the night shelter. He had always used to regale us with these fabulous stories of these kind of fiends who used to inhabit the night shelter, and breaking in through doors and having to hack their heads off with any available plank. So the night shelter was quite an event. You see that Richard knows all about that, and that was my woodwork, because these were his cohabitants in the night shelter. So Bob spent quite a lot of time in the night shelter, and probably less time in his geology lectures, because he then became a mature student, and he conducted tea shop tours, for example, tours of the Battle of Bosworth. And Mike has a very good story about being brought to the Battle of Bosworth site late into the night, and of course everything was in darkness, and Bob insisting on turning on the headlights and shining them across the battle site so that they could plough through the muddy field to see the relevant sites. And of course, doing that for about half an hour, and of course the battery was almost dead at the time, and Bob had to explain every facet of the battle site. And that is Bob's passion. Bob's passion is history, European history in particular. And a visit to a church with Bob isn't going to last for 5 or 10 minutes. He's going to go into every detail of every saint that ever did everything. Well, we also had that in the trip to Cologne. We went to the cathedral. It took us about half an hour to get past the West Wing. Bob seemed to be stuck on the threshold explaining all the biblical scenes and all the ancient histories of the Hanover House. But Bob again is somebody who lives life fully with passion. And even if we saw that, we went to the Heliodog song, we went to a fabulous concert. Again organised by Stefan Goethe. And during the concert, Bob was overtaken with ecstasy.
It's the emotion, not the drug.
And he was whimpering helplessly. And the very conservative German audience were looking around quite a lot to figure out what was going on. But it was Bob really living in the moment. That'll live on very long. But there is a dark side of Bob as well. Bob, if you notice again, the stories of history is quite gory, but then some macabre details. There's lots of castrated monks, for example. There's Vestal virgins who are dragged out into the middle of the Rhine and sunk by fours. And then the gory details that he left to the second, and his end, which involved a molten lead and a funnel. Edward the second. Then, of course, in 1995, he met Sarah.
We settled that.
What he said there was that we met in 1994, but he didn't start going out with him until 1995. But he insisted
But you know what?
going out.
He was late for our first date.
And that was a humorous joke, wasn't it?
You were transferred to the other
I got an extra on burial ground.
Back in those days at Lancaster University, Bob was actually Sarah's student. Sarah was the tutor, and the tutorials went particularly well at Flint. I mean, Bob didn't finish, you did finish your course, whether you got the straight A's or not, I'm not sure, but you certainly got the girl.
Straight A's, don't turn up.
But Sarah seemed to bring order to Bob's life, and you know, of course, he had the odd kind of tumultuous, little episode, but general orderliness and general calm and contentment, and there definitely are, I would say, Bob is Sandy's sole partner. They certainly seem a very happy couple, and long may it continue. They've moved into Calgary News, and they've adopted Beavis. We all know Beavis. Beavis, in his early days, was quite a ruthless kind of beast. We all probably saw it. He probably is still a ruthless. Anyway, we were all given chocolate buttons to bribe our way in to Beavis. Handing the chocolate buttons out, and Bob would make quite a thing of it. You know, he frightened the hell out of us. But he'd close the door, give you these buttons, and offer them. If he comes towards you, just offer him a button. Now, unfortunately, Bob didn't give the postman any chocolate. The postman was the guy who was delivering the mail and put his hand through the door and got it firmly grabbed and his index finger ripped off and then X on the door. You know, again biblical.
Biblical, yeah, exactly.
You have had those for dogs as well. Certain Beavers have them.
Anyway.
The next move was into Hastings Road. Where they are now.
Oh yeah, Hastings Road, yeah. Correct, that's it.
The best neighbours.
Some neighbours like it. Well done. It must be quite experienced.
He's also move out for years. Probably disasters, not going to say you paid for it.
You've written, but you can compose that beautiful piece of music.
Oh yeah.
The only pity is that hasn't been recorded because in the middle of it all we didn't actually listen to it. It's only played again and recorded for us. Organise that with the organ.
Yes, there is. It will happen.
So as I say, it's a great honour for me to be here. I look around the room and I see many best men, in fact, for Bob, but I represent you guys. Because Bob has got many best men and best friends in his life, and indeed Sarah has, and now, but together they are a wonderful couple. There are so many people to remember today also, but Jackie's already talked about that very beautifully, about Bob's mother and father, and all with us, Shirley and Harry, and of course Gary Goddard, Gaz, and our old friend, God rest them. But today is a joy of happiness. It's a joy of happiness for us all. It's the beginning of their married life, which is a whole new chapter. So now I ask you one more time to stand and raise your glasses. Let's go to the wonderful couple, Bob and Sarah. May God bless you now.
The wonderful couple. The wonderful couple. The wonderful couple. Ah, yes, to you as well, yes. It's a wonderful German couple, yes. Yeah, why not? Baroness. Yeah, already, already.